The NFL playoffs are here. It is championship weekend, both the AFC and NFC. A Sunday filled with football, and FanDuel is officially giving guys and girls ways to win extra money with profit boost packs that are waiting for them. Inside the app, you get on and find them the same way you find any of your bets on FanDuel. Just log into the app, apply your profit boost to get even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. Just visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every single playoff game day. All right, guys, I'm excited for this topic because I know G and Tyvis have been doing their wide receiver breakdown series on the Ultimate Brown Show. And in Mel Kiper Jr.'s official mock draft 1.0, he has the Browns taking a receiver at 24. We'll first show you the first 12 picks in Mel Kiper Jr.'s new 1.0 mock draft. He had Fernando Mendoza going 1 overall. Arvell Reese, the Buckeye linebacker, going 2nd overall. Francis Malioga, who they had the Browns taking in Dane Brugler's first mock draft, he goes number 3 to Arizona. David Bailey, the 4th pick. Cardinal Tate, the 5th pick. And they had the Browns taking Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle out of Utah.
Is this actually a mock draft, or is it his rankings of players?
No, this is mock draft.
Okay, because you didn't. All right, yeah, I got you.
Didn't put the team.
It's only so many letters on this.
Gotcha.
Next one, 7 through 12 here. He is Ruben Bain going 7th. Jordan Tyson going to the Saints at 8. Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame, going to the Chiefs.
I like that.
At number 9.
I like
Bowl
number 10.
Your Bengals get Caleb Downs in this scenario. Keldrick Falk, the defensive end from Auburn, goes 11. And Sonny Styles,
Go Bucks,
the 4th Buckeye in the top 12, going number 12 to Dallas. Instead of showing you all 24 picks, these are what the Browns did in this scenario. Spencer Fano went 6. He has 36 starts at Utah, plays both left tackle and right tackle, but played more right tackle at Utah. And then he had Zachariah Branch, the Georgia receiver, who's fast but undersized, going number 24. Branch, depending on what rankings you look at, is graded anywhere from a top 25 prospect, according to Mel Kiper Jr. He's number 23 overall on his big board.
You guys don't like Branch?
To a 2nd or 3rd round pick.
We
Before you give your thoughts on Branch, G, before you give your thoughts on Branch, the question I want to ask, and you could parse this out to all the receivers in this class, how many do you actually think are worthy of a round 1 pick, whether it be at 6 or 24? How many of these guys do you think are actually round 1 worthy wide receiver prospects?
3 and a possible.
So say spades.
Yeah.
Jordan Tyson, Cardinal Tate, Mekhi Lemon. We got Denzel Boston.
Boston.
I gotta watch it tonight.
Chris Bell.
That's 5.
That's 5. You said 3 and a possible. That's 5.
Well, 2 of them was probably gonna go in the 2nd round. We just did Zachariah Branch, and he's electric when it comes to punt returns.
Yeah.
But when you watch,
You talking about one?
No, the route tree.
You're not taking him in the first round.
The route tree is not there. Like, he's not running.
He lost to Elijah Surratt in the competition.
Yeah, we compare Elijah Surratt to Zachariah Branch. Elijah Surratt is a much more polished receiver, runs all the route trees, can get open, does the back shoulder fade well.
Is he getting the opportunity to do these things?
Yeah, he the number 1 guy.
He's the number 1 guy, man. And he didn't do it at USC.
I told you that.
He didn't do it at Georgia. He's electric. If you get the ball in his hands, you know who he reminds you a little bit of? Isaiah Bond.
I'm not taking that guy in the first round.
He's got a little Isaiah, and he's smallish, and he's a slot guy.
Let's face it. It feels like at wide receiver. I'm not an expert on this. I'm not pretending to be. Just what I've heard from you guys, from other people, it doesn't feel like there's a great pick that fits a need for the Browns at 6.
Jordan Tyson, but he hurt all the time.
But he's risky.
He's very risky.
You don't want to take a risky guy at 6.
He healthy.
He tore ACL already.
If he healthy, boy.
Yeah, I mean, but
Cardinal Tate.
He's twitchy. He's in space. He's dynamic. He can catch the football. He's more explosive than Cardinal Tate. Cardinal Tate is smooth. He's a hands catcher. He can run all the problem with Cardinal Tate sometimes he doesn't play as big as he seems. Like, he can get hands up a little bit. Right?
How big is he?
6'4".
About 6.
And how big is Tyson?
6'1".
He's listed at 6'2", but a little bulky.
6'2".
Is he clearly the better player if they're both healthy?
If you're talking, what are you looking for in a receiver? That's the question. What do you want? What do you think the Browns need as a full wide receiver? And I'll tell you who you should go with.
That's a good question.
Do you think Mekhi Lemon's in the conversation with those
If you
first
want a
two?
slot receiver, then yes.
I'm all right. He is.
But I think Jerry Judy's best as a slot receiver. We've talked about this before. Ideally, so I'm looking for a guy that can, like, to me, I want a guy who can make the contested catches.
Okay.
Like those 50-50 balls.
Okay.
You know,
So you want an outside receiver
Yes.
that can catch a 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
Carnell Tate.
Okay.
If you want a guy that you could do a little bit more with, like he'll do that, but also can
Run
you can
after-
throw,
run
you can
after
throw the
catch.
ball to him and he can get some yak.
Run after
Jordan
catch.
Tyson.
Yeah, he's more explosive. But wait,
Who's more likely to be a superstar?
Jordan Tyson.
So I think ultimately I take the guy who's more likely to be a superstar.
But if you want to do who you just,
But it sounds like Tate's got a higher floor.
yeah, Tate is
Tate
going.
will come in right and be the
Just be a very good
he'll be
one.
an NFL pro from the moment
Right,
he's
right there.
Is he T. Higgins or better? Tate.
That's a good comparison.
T. Higgins is probably,
That's a
you know, a
good
lot of
comparison.
teams he's a 1.
He's
He's probably somewhere between the 12th and 20th best wide receiver
Would
in the
you
league.
say he's
T. Higgins is about right.
Would you say he's
Okay.
a JV version of
Don't do that.
AJ Green?
AJ Green's one of like the all-time great receivers.
But I'm just saying, you know, like, so that's a
the
good.
T. Higgins comparison is the best one.
Or here's another
Now,
one.
but T. Higgins was a second-round pick. Probably should have been a late first-round pick.
Probably, yeah.
But
Wasn't he
not
the
a
first
top
pick?
10 pick.
Wasn't he the first pick of the second round? 33rd, wasn't he?
What's-
Remember,
oh,
I know it was early second, but I don't. It was the same year they took Burrow, so it probably was the first pick
Who
of
was
the
the
second
dude?
round.
I'm
He was
trying.
33rd, yeah.
Who's the dude they used who used to play for the Colts? Not Marvin Harrison.
Reggie Wayne?
Reggie Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good
He
one.
reminds me of Reggie
yeah,
Wayne.
That's a good one.
Excellent player.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Reggie
There's
Wayne.
no issue with it.
So, G, when you look at the overall list of receivers, Tyvis, you two, take 6 out of the equation. Tate and Tyson off the board. I'm assuming there's no way either of those two guys fall at 24.
No.
At 24, which of these receivers we saw the first mock?
Mekhi Lemon
Brugler-
will be gone, too.
So
get
you
that.
take Lemon off the board.
Yeah.
We saw Casey Concepcion mock to the Browns at 24.
Yeah, who do you like the most
We've
besides
seen-
those top 3
out
guys?
of the next group of guys,
Yeah.
if they're going to go tackle or guard early, offensive
You're
line
not taking
early.
a guard at 6.
Well,
It would-
if you think
would-
the Francis Malioga guy ends up being a guard.
Oh,
If you
God.
taking a
Him.
receiver at 24, it'll be a mixture between Boston, Bell, Concepcion.
What's
get-
the upside on those guys?
Yeah,
Like,
give us a little bit on all.
Elijah Surratt is probably a second
He
round
just
pick.
because he's just not fast.
He's just not fast.
who do you guys like the most of those guys? If
Well,
you had to pick
we
one.
doing Boston versus
Bell.
Bell tonight, which is
All right, but right now, if you had to pick one, right now, with the information you have, who are you taking?
out of Boston and Bell,
Yeah.
or are you talking about at 24?
Yeah, but if we're taking out Lemon and Tyson and
Off the information
Tate,
that I know
yeah.
right now, at the top of my head, I probably take.
Chris Bell is
Chris
more
Bell
twitchy.
has-
He's
yeah.
faster than Boston.
All right.
But
what's Bell's upside? Like, best case scenario is who's an equivalent player?
he reminds me of a little bit of a.
I tell you what, about against Miami, that dude was a.
He reminds me of a.
He had like 160 yards
I'm
and
trying
2
to think.
tugs against Miami.
He's big. He's physical. He's fast.
yeah.
So what's his downside? Like, why is he not a top 10 pick?
I don't think he's not a really defined route runner. I like to see him catch the ball better with his hands, not his
This
body.
is tonight. If y'all ain't tuned in tonight, this gonna be a good matchup.
This-
Boston and Bell.
Denzel
like,
Boston
that's
is a good
one.
route. Now, I like him, but Concepcion. The thing with this is he's
a
an electric returner.
The only problem with that is he's got a baseball name. Sounds like he should be playing baseball with that name.
He can.
I would either go with Boston or Bell at 24.
I would. But here's the thing: if Surratt run anything, all it's gonna be his 40 time.
He ain't. No, just let it go.
I'll
G.
tell you. I
Let
know.
It go. He
By the
ain't.
way, I know how. Obviously, the Browns are desperate to get better on the offensive line, but I don't think it's crazy to take Tyson or Tate at 6 and then take Bell or Boston at 26.
I wouldn't even trip.
And
I
then
don't think people would be. mad
and then
about
you
that.
get 2. What I would do is I'd have what's his name, Luke Whippler play center. I would sign 2 veteran guards, and then I draft my tackles in the 2nd and 3rd round. You can get good offensive linemen in the 2nd and 3rd round. Now you don't always, but you could.
Hey,
That's a position.
But they say it's a weak tackle draft.
Well,
I mean, heck, the best tackle might go play guard.
yeah,
that is tough.
that's tricky, but.
I would take. I wouldn't be mad at.
But you're not going to. I'm not going to kill the Browns if they. I doubt they'll do that. But it would kind of be exciting if they took 2 wide receivers in the first round.
And Chris Bell can.
I don't think people be mad at it, but you just
If the tackles aren't that good anyway, why take
if
one?
you go. I'm telling you right now, if you go in that route, you got to take Tyson at 6.
Yeah.
Because you got to get the ball out your hand now. Like there ain't none of that. I'm waiting for them to run the route.
And then you got the 38th pick. You take a tackle at 38.
I take a tackle.
So you done with Isaiah Bond?
He's my 4th receiver.
So you done with Isaiah Bond?
I never had him as higher than a 4th receiver.
And you moving
anyway.
Jerry Jeudy to slot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I moved Jerry Jeudy to slot. I have Bond and Tillman as my 4 and 5. They're perfectly fine in those roles. And there we go. There's my wide receiving core. And then I use 2nd round pick on a tackle. I'd get 2 veteran guards in free agency. You don't have to be superstars, just solid pro. You can on the offensive line. You don't need a superstar at every spot. You can get if you can get yourself 5 solid players and you have a middle of the road offensive line, that's okay.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like I said, I asked Mikey to tell me about those the teams that had the top offensive lines this year. Number 1 was Denver, and Denver is still going. Bills was up there.
Well,
Chicago was still up there.
Well, they're out.
No, but I'm saying
Broncos
that these
about
is
to be
all playoff
I hear
teams.
you, Titus,
like,
but if
we don't have a top 15 quarterback, you better have a top 5 offensive line. Is my point.
What I'm saying is you can't fix every problem in 1 year. And it sounds like this is not a good group of offensive linemen.
That's why you need to take the one that you can get.
If the one guy up there is, you don't even know what position he's going to play in the NFL, I don't want to take a guy.
He plays right or left tackle.
Yeah, but they
Fano.
Well,
Fano's played both. Mauioga is the right tackle
that's
going to
play
guard.
Okay, no, I'm not interested in him.
Well, he's going 3rd. We won't have him anyways. He's going to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
But anyways, Fano, who they got us projected to get, plays tackle left or right.
Yeah, he does. He just plays tackle.
And he's played significantly at both?
He has 36 career starts. He started at left tackle, played the last 2 seasons at right tackle. The other left tackle, Caleb Lomu, is also projected to be a 1st-round pick from Utah.
So
but here's the problem.
Here's another scenario. You take Fano at 6, and then you take Bell and Boston at 24 and 30.
But he got they played against Texas Tech, and they got dog walked.
Yeah.
David Bailey is a dog.
I get it.
Going
he
4th pick in his draft.
Who got dog walked?
Them tackles from Utah.
All right, I'm out on that now.
David Bailey.
So you don't like
David Bailey
is
good.
Let's face it, you can't trust a player from Utah.
I agree with that statement.
Utah's a shady state.
They Texas Tech came down there and it was not cute, bro.
But you're not about to act like David.
Utah,
but David Bailey is literally going 4th pick in the draft.
Texas Tech did that to Oregon too. So they're very good up front. Yeah. But if you want an apples comparison, it's one of them things where we keep talking about it. Like, we're like, man, the Browns, they get these high picks in these drafts, and the things that you need.
It's terrible that year. Last year they blew it because they could have had Dart or
they could have had some different things. But it's going to be very interesting. It comes down to the 40 time. Elijah Surratt's gonna run a 4.6.
That's a fact.
4.6.
Yeah. He's gonna run a 4.6.
He's a good player.
Are there any really good slow receivers?
Like in the NFL?
Yeah.
Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Is he a 4.6?
Mike Evans slow.
He probably 4.5 high.
Yeah. Mike Evans ain't crazy fast.
Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer.
But he's 6. He's 6'4".
Right.
6'5".
What's Surratt?
He does.
Like 6.
Have y'all seen his basketball highlights, by the way?
Actually, I have.
Who, Mike Evans?
Yeah,
he
actually
was
could
a dog.
He actually could hoop.
I never seen it.
Any basketball. Well, Keon Coleman, you supposed to be nice. You play basketball like any basketball player.
Antonio Gates.
You get him for the low.
Yeah. There's a couple of dudes that I'm willing. You said this earlier. I would make the trade for Marvin Harrison Jr. It's time.
But you're gonna have to give up a 1st-round pick.
A 1st round?
Why?
I still think you have to give a 1st round for him.
Really?
That late 1st-round pick.
I don't know about
You'd
that.
make that trade.
I
wouldn't
think
you?
24 could get him.
Well, again, think about it. If you're Arizona,
Why would you trade?
Why would you trade him for a late pick? Why would you do that?
Yeah, I mean, and plus you need something to throw to.
They got Michael Wilson.
But you need more.
You need more than one. I mean,
one.
McBride's.
Come on, we're trying to
They got
stockpile
Trey
here.
McBride.
We're trying to stockpile. We're trying to fleece somebody right now.
Yeah.
We're trying to fleece somebody up out of their goods.
Yeah.
So last thing
pick
on
the
this
phone
real
over
quick.
there.
This has actually been really informational. And, G, what time are you doing your show tonight?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 o'clock. I'm going to give you some other names at receiver we haven't mentioned yet. I'll ask G.
Chris Brazzell.
Well, yeah, he's on the list.
Okay.
But I'll ask G, I want your 2 cents on it, and then Ty, I want your 2 cents on it. We're going to
right.
run through the rest of the receivers who, in theory, could be in play at that range, whether it's late first round, early second round, day 2-ish. We've already mentioned Cardinal Tate, already mentioned Tyson. Mekhi Lemon, I know you said real quick you think he's gone early,
Yeah,
but
he'd be gone,
is
but-
he by far the best slot in the draft?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not even close.
He's physical. He's
He
just
run good route. He's like Amon-Ra St. Brown.
It's like his cousin.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the same person. He's the exact same person. Catch the ball with his hands.
Love having an Amon-Ra St. Brown.
You gonna put him in
Browns
here.
could have had him.
You're gonna put him in here, and they're gonna say, draft Mekhi Lemon on your board for fantasy because he's just gonna continue. Yeah, he's nice.
He's nice.
Because he'll probably also end up on a much better team than the other two guys.
He will, and you'll be like, who is this guy?
I will be looking to take him in fantasy next year.
Yes. Next.
All right, Casey Concepcion, real quick.
I'm out on him at 24. He's fine later in the draft. He's a good returner. He made some big plays at receiver for them, but it's not consistent.
Casey or Kevin?
His name
It's
is Kevin.
It's
but
Kevin.
They call
He
it
goes like
KC.
Casey
Oh, I
Concepcion.
see.
He is slider frame, a good returner. He's not gonna get off press coverage. He's not one of them. He's not gonna run the whole route tree. He's not an outside receiver. He's a slot guy.
Yeah.
He can double as a punt returner. He's probably one of the best punt returners in the draft. So he might get overdrafted because of that.
Yeah.
But for the Browns, you kind of already have that in Isaiah Bond type.
If the best thing you have to say about a receiver is he's a good returner, I'm not taking him in the first round.
He's in the open field. He's
fine,
great, but
yeah.
he's not. He's not.
Yeah, but
no,
it's hard to be in the open field in the NFL too often.
You can get him in the second or third round. You know what I'm saying?
Jeremy Bernard out of
He a
Alabama.
beast.
Now
He
You're a
beat-
fan, Tyvus?
Yeah.
He a beast. He nice. He was going against Chris Brazzell. He beat him in the second catch of the highlight. It was ridiculous.
He is physical.
Yeah, he
He's
all
a
right right there.
He's a physical runner, and he's a guy that defensive backs do not want to tackle in the open field.
He built like a running back, like lower body wise. He got strong legs. Pause.
Yeah. Like and the thing about him is he does a lot of his work over the middle. He has good hands, and
he's
he's
a
just
possession receiver.
it's all about him. If he runs a 4.5, I think he's going to be one of them dudes. He reminds me of Anquan Bolden a little bit.
That's exactly who he looks like.
Good NFL player.
Very good. Yeah. He
All right,
reminds me of
Mike.
Bolden.
We got 2 more.
Oh boy,
Brazzell. You mentioned him, Tyvus.
Third round pick.
sounds like a candy.
Nice red zone threat. Third round pick. Faster. He actually like Cedric Tillman.
But faster. He's a faster Cedric
He
Tillman.
like Cedric Tillman.
He's Cedric Tillman with talent.
But we do not like receivers from Tennessee.
No,
because him, Cedric Tillman, what's the dude?
Jalen Hyatt.
They run them wide splits. The offense.
You gotta teach them
You got to
offense.
teach them whole route tree.
Yeah.
No.
Next.
All right, last one. Jacoby Lane out of USC. Have you guys looked at Jacoby Lane's tape yet?
We have not gone over Jacoby Lane, but they have him as a dude.
He
who,
make me sick because he was supposed to be.
He was
better
supposed to
than
be
that.
better than that,
Yeah.
bro. He
Better than that.
underwhelming, I would say. He's underwhelming because he was supposed to be that deal, and then Mekhi Lemon came
Sure.
along.
Yeah,
and was
that's-
like,
that's really
I'm
what
him.
happened.
I'm him. He's the reason USC was underwhelming.
Yeah.
He was a beast in the red
Little,
zone 2 years
little
ago, not last year. 2
Side
years
note:
ago.
I lived on Jacoby Lane once.
That's crazy.
He was a beast 2 years ago in the red zone.
That's crazy.
Mike.
With what's that dude named Miller Moss was the quarterback
Yeah,
at USC.
He was at Louisville this year, throwing to Chris Bell.
Yeah. So yeah.